In this video, I'm celebrating my first major YouTube milestone of reaching 1,000 subscribers. And to show my appreciation to all of you, I'm going to be giving one of my lucky subscribers a free 1-year subscription to the online art school 21 Draw. I'm also going to be drawing this page from my upcoming tote theme coloring book, as well as shedding a little light on why I started my own YouTube channel. Spoiler alert, it's probably not what you think, so stick around. Hey guys, Craig here. Hope everybody's doing well. Now for those of you who are new to my channel, my name's Craig Babin and I'm on a mission to turn my part-time drawing hobby into a full-time income. And I'm hoping to inspire as many of you as possible to do the exact same thing. So if you have a part-time hobby that you want to monetize, then hit that subscribe button because I'm going to be posting some really useful stuff on this channel that you are not going to want to miss. Okay, so to kick off this video, I just want to start off by thanking all of you who helped me to reach my first YouTube milestone of 1,000 subscribers. Now, to be totally honest, because of the way I was executing this channel, and I'll get to that in just a bit, I had no idea how it would be received by the public. But you guys have been so amazing. According to my analytics, you've been watching the videos, you've been liking the videos, and I know from the comments section that you guys are engaging and asking questions all the time. And that really does a lot to help a small channel grow. So for that, I thank you. And because you guys were so instrumental in helping me reach this milestone, I wanted to show my appreciation by giving you something back. Now, I know from the conversations that I've had with many of you in the comments section that quite a few of you are artists, or at least aspiring to become artists. So I thought, what better gift to give one of my subscribers than a free subscription to the newest and the hottest online art school, 21 Draw. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with 21 Draw, check this out. 21 Draw is an online learning community where students of all skill levels can learn how to better their artistic craft. The contributing artists and instructors on this site are some of the best in the world. You can find hundreds of video lessons by industry legends who have worked for studios like Disney, Marvel, DC, DreamWorks, Pixar, and more. The list of artists teaching on this site range from animation legend Tom Bancroft, who worked on such animated feature films as Beauty and the Beast, The Lion King, Aladdin, and Mulan, all the way to YouTube's own Erica Weissman, also known as Erica the Goober, who's an artist that initially blew up on Instagram and is now really starting to make a name for herself on YouTube. The course topics include everything from anatomy, character design, figure drawing, environmental design, as well as lighting and shading, all the way to courses that will teach you how to promote your art online. And each course contains hours of on-demand video instruction as well as assignments and bonus materials. And the best part is, 21 Draw adds new courses every single month. If you're someone who's serious about taking your illustration skills to the next level, then 21 Draw is the place you want to be. So if you want a chance to win this incredible free giveaway, then stick around for a bit, because I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do to enter this contest a little bit later on in the video. But for now, since we're already talking about illustration, I'm going to start drawing. And since I've got your undivided attention, I thought this would be a great time for you to get to know me a little bit better. So I'm going to tell you all about why I started my YouTube journey. So if you're ready, let's get to it. Prior to setting out on this little artistic journey, I worked as a 3D animation artist for over a decade. I had owned my own 3D animation company, which created educational videos for research and development companies. My videos were being used on TED Talks and could be seen in boardrooms all over the world. And I also taught 3D animation at a college level to computer programming students. And regardless of whether I was creating animation for big business or teaching eager young students how to do it for themselves, I loved my job. But unfortunately, back when I was still attending college to learn the art of 3D animation, I developed a physical impairment that really negatively affected my equilibrium or my balance. Any type of continuous movement, whether it be me physically moving my body, my environment moving around me, or just my eyes tracking something in front of me, had the ability to induce vertigo and a loss of equilibrium. And it didn't just come and go either. This condition was constant throughout the day. Now in the beginning, it wasn't too bad. It was more annoying than anything else. But as time went on, it began to get a lot worse. I can't even count how many specialists I went to see hoping to find a solution to my problem. neurologists, ear, nose, and throat doctors. I even tried out a few naturopathic doctors. I was desperate and willing to try anything, but unfortunately, no one could seem to help me. Now, in the early years of my impairment, I was able to hide it from pretty much everyone around me. Since I worked alone when it came to doing jobs for my company, I would just take a lot of breaks throughout my workday to keep from becoming overwhelmed by the dizziness. As far as my college classes were concerned, I structured my daily course content in a way that would allow me to lecture my students for the first half of the class, and then I would give them the entire second half of the period to work on their projects. There weren't any exams or tests in my classes. It was all project-based, so my students actually welcomed the free time I gave them in each class, as it kept them from falling behind on their homework. Plus, many of my students didn't have access to the 3D animation software outside of the school, so the in-class work period really came in handy for them. And that class structure also came in handy for me as well, because it allowed me to take 10 or 15 minutes after my lecture to go find an empty bathroom stall so that I could write out the vertigo attack in private. My students must have thought I had irritable bowel syndrome or something, because I kept dashing off to the bathroom halfway through pretty much every class. And this went on for many years. But as I said earlier, over time, my condition got worse. Now at the time, I was trying to grow my company, so I kept taking on bigger and bigger contracts. This would require more of my time, which meant even longer work days. So between my teaching and my business, it was perfectly normal for me to work 12-hour days, 7 days a week. That is until my body had finally had enough. I had been pushing it way too hard for far too long, and about 10 years in, it finally reached its breaking point. Now, I just want to point out that with the exception of my balance disorder, I was a pretty healthy guy. I was 5'8", 150 pounds, and I ate healthy and exercised regularly. But at some point, in protest, my body decided to go on a hunger strike. So even though I was eating 3 square meals a day, my body was not digesting the food I was eating. And in a 6-week period, I managed to go from a healthy 150-pound male to a malnourished 112-pound shadow of my former self. Now, to be honest, with the amount of weight loss I was experiencing, I thought I had stage 4 cancer or something. But after consulting with multiple specialists, with the exception of my equilibrium problem, there really wasn't anything physically wrong with me. The weight loss was just a result of the stress my body was going through trying to cope with my dizziness condition. Pretty much every doctor that I had saw had strongly advised me to stop everything that I was doing and just take some time off to try to get my health back on track. So I did just that. Now, thankfully, I was in pretty good financial shape at the time, so I could afford to take a 1-year leave of absence without losing everything I owned. So I made the decision to spend the next year focusing entirely on getting my health back. For 1 year, my daily routine consisted of a leapfrog of activity and then rest, hour after hour. And my activities were simple things like making my lunch, eating it, and then washing my dishes. Just doing that activity alone would require me to take anywhere from a 20-minute to an hour rest break just to get my equilibrium back. And my rest breaks were just that, rest. No TV, no music, no reading, just basically me meditating on the couch with my eyes closed for an hour. And I followed that routine for 1 full year. To be honest, I don't think I even sat down at a computer for the entire first year. I became completely out of touch with what was going on with my friends, my family, and the entire world around me for that matter. I was so adamant about not putting any undue stress on my nervous system that I just shut the entire world out. But thankfully, in that time, I did manage to get my health back. I put on about 40 pounds of muscle mass and was able to remove a great deal of the stress from my life. But as the end of the year approached, I knew that I needed to get back on the computer if I wanted any hope of salvaging what was left of my livelihood. So I decided to insert about an hour or 2 of digital drawing every day. Now, to be totally honest, I really hadn't drawn a damn thing in over 20 years, so I was a little rusty to say the least. But that was a good thing. I think if I had tried to go back into 3D animation right away, I would have probably been so eager to get going that I would have ended up pushing myself too hard again, which would have only thrown me back into my same old unhealthy routine. Now, one of the good things about not having drawn for a couple of decades is that because I was so rusty, when my scheduled drawing hour was up, I was perfectly fine with walking away from the computer. When you're not in the zone as an artist, there are no shortage of thoughts about quitting running through your minds. But one of the things that I began to notice as I was doing this was that I really wasn't able to push my body beyond that 1 hour mark without suffering some serious equilibrium issues in the following days. So those intermittent breaks that I was taking really became a necessity for me. It's funny, when you actually take time to break down what it is you do in an average day, you quickly realize that activities like preparing meals, eating, washing dishes, showering, exercising, laundry, and groceries actually consume quite a bit of your day. And when you're forced to insert rest periods in between each of those activities, there really isn't a hell of a lot of time left for working. It was becoming really apparent to me that I was going to have to limit my workday to about 3 hours. And this worried me, because when it comes to 3D animation, there really is no such thing as a small project. Every contract requires long hours to complete. So I was quickly coming to the realization that 3D animation was probably not going to be in my future. I mean, even the classes that I taught in college were 3 consecutive hours long. This format just wasn't going to work for me. So then came the hard part. I had to figure out how I was going to contribute as a productive member of society while still staying within the physical limits my body could handle. Now, because I could only work 3 hours per day, my options for employment started dropping away dramatically. Part-time jobs traditionally don't pay a lot of money per hour. And since I was having a hard time just working 3 consecutive hours straight, that pretty much ruled out the option of me working for someone else. So I knew I was going to have to be self-employed. And because I didn't know how my condition was going to progress in the coming years, I also knew that I needed to make a passive income, something where I could do the work once and get paid for it for the rest of my life. I didn't want to put myself in a situation where I had to work a certain amount of hours every week just to get by. As I continued to examine all of my possibilities, there were really only 2 things that I was certain of. 1, I wanted whatever I did to be artistic in nature. And 2, I really wanted to teach again. Now, with the exception of 3D animation, drawing was the only other artistic thing that I was reasonably good at. So it became pretty clear that I was going to have to figure out a way to make a living as an illustrator. Thankfully, there are small illustration jobs that can be done in just a few hours. So if the situation ever arose where I needed to trade some time for money, I could, even with my physical limitations. So I spent the next 2 months doing nothing but researching artists on YouTube. I must have subscribed to about 200 different artist channels. I combed through hours and hours of video trying to figure out what these artists were doing to make money on YouTube and what they were doing to make money off of YouTube. I also tried to figure out why some artists took off on YouTube while others really didn't go anywhere at all. I made extensive video playlists of what income streams seemed to work for them and which ones didn't. But one of the things that became abundantly clear to me was that the majority of the successful YouTube artists were working full-time at it. And I don't just mean that it was their only job, I mean they were putting in full-time hours every day. In fact, some of the most successful artists on YouTube were not only putting in long hours, some of them even had their own production crews working for them as well. And since I knew that I was only going to be able to commit to this on a part-time basis, I gotta admit, it wasn't looking too promising. Another thing that kind of worried me was the fact that of the artists that were actually able to quit their day jobs and work solely on YouTube, a large portion of them had said in their videos that it took them about 2.5 years from the time that they started uploading videos consistently on a weekly basis before they were ever able to quit their day jobs to do YouTube full time. And since I was fairly certain that I would never be able to upload new videos any faster than a rate of about twice per month, I would have to realistically expect it to take me around 5 years to reach that point where I could live off my YouTube channel. And that was really scary. So I knew right away that if I was serious about making a living as a YouTube artist, I was not going to be able to maintain my current lifestyle the way it was. So I did what was probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life. I sold off everything that I owned that wasn't a necessity to me. This included my condominium, my car, some of my furniture, artwork, music equipment, and so much more. I decreased my personal possessions to the bare necessities. And then I went out and I rented the cheapest apartment I could find. Although I had equity in my condominium, plus a little bit of a college pension to draw on, if I was going to make it for 5 years, I was going to have to live a very minimalistic lifestyle. It's actually funny how much crap you accumulate over the years. So many of my possessions were things that I thought I could never live without, and yet once they were gone, I didn't even miss them. Although I don't recommend necessarily starting over at age 50 like I did, you'd probably be shocked at just how liberating it is. So once I had finished all of my downsizing and had moved into my tiny new apartment, it was time to start out on my new journey in life. I needed to create a YouTube channel, and I needed to create it now. They say that the two most important parts of creating a YouTube channel are knowing who your target audience is and knowing exactly what your channel is about. I read a quote that said, if you can't describe what your channel is about in one sentence or less, then it's probably too complicated and you need to simplify it. I knew that I wanted my channel to chronicle my journey of becoming a professional illustrator. But there were already thousands of other channels on YouTube doing the exact same thing. So what was going to separate my channel from all of the others? I also knew I wanted to focus on all of the different income streams available to artists, both on and off of YouTube. Stuff like self-publishing, customized merchandise, affiliate programs, sponsorships, and other income opportunities like that. As an art channel, I wanted to make sure to include drawing tutorials and speed drawing videos to my lineup as well, and possibly even include some product reviews. From everything I had seen, those type of videos really helped artists to supplement their incomes. But even knowing exactly what I wanted to do on my channel, I still wasn't sure how to pitch it to the public in a way that would make it stand out from all of the others. And that's when I started thinking about my situation. This YouTube business was going to be something that I was limited to doing on a part-time basis. But I really didn't want to make my channel all about my physical limitations. I mean, how many other people watching YouTube actually have the same equilibrium impairment that I do? My target audience would have probably been very small if I had done that. But then the more that I thought about it, I realized that I didn't need to approach my channel from the aspect of my physical limitations. I could approach it from the aspect of my time constraints. When it comes time for you to create your own YouTube channel, it's important to remember that yes, your channel content should in some way be personal to you, but at the same time, you need to remember to make it relatable to other people as well. By building my channel around my time constraints, my content would probably be far more relatable to a much larger group of people. In fact, when you think about it, pretty much everybody on YouTube is in the exact same situation as I am. We're all just in this situation for different reasons. I'm sure there are many people out there who can't work more than a few hours per day due to a health condition. But there are probably far more people out there who are unable to commit more than a few hours per day to a side business due to full-time jobs, raising kids, and going to school. By approaching my channel from the time constraint instead of my physical limitations, I would be opening it up to a much larger target audience. Now, another thing that I didn't want to do was pigeonhole my content to only those people who draw. Because the income streams that I was going to be discussing on my channel, like affiliate programs and sponsorships, self-publishing, and the YouTube channel itself, could easily be utilized by people with no artistic talent whatsoever. Which is why I eventually settled on the channel description of how to turn a part-time hobby into a full-time income. This could apply to a much wider audience. My content could apply to pretty much anyone with a hobby, regardless of what it was. Now, because there was going to be an artistic element to my channel, I wanted to be sure that I wasn't misleading my audience as to the type of content that I would be posting when it came to that artistic segment of video, which is why I later added the word drawing to my channel description. This would make my new channel description how to turn a part-time drawing hobby into a full-time income. Most of the content on my channel would still apply to a wide variety of people, but as far as the art tutorials were concerned, I would only be teaching digital drawing and painting techniques. So for those of you who are expecting tutorials on sculpting, glass blowing, or wood carving, I'm afraid you're out of luck. So once I had figured out what my channel was going to be about and who my target audience was, it was time to create my YouTube channel. And that all started with figuring out what I wanted my channel art to look like. So I started researching color palettes, font types, and really paid close attention to what other successful art channels were doing. And this is a step that I definitely recommend you take for your own YouTube channel. Once all of those decisions had been made, I shot my first video, which would end up being my trailer video, and then I launched my channel to the public. Now, if I'm being totally honest, I had no preconceived notions about how this channel would perform. I really made a conscious effort not to have any expectations going into this. And I think if you're going to be approaching your YouTube channel from a part-time perspective as well, it's a good idea to keep your expectations low. Now, I'm not saying that you should go into this with a pessimistic attitude. I just mean that you shouldn't be anticipating too much too soon. I mean, I've been doing this now for about 14 months, and I'm actually blown away by the response I've received from all of you. I really didn't see myself hitting 1,000 subscribers quite this fast, especially since I'm only posting 2 videos per month. Before I launched my channel, I had read a statistic that said that only about 14% of all YouTube channels have reached the 1,000 subscriber status, and that all of the channels that had reached monetization, which is 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time, the average channel had taken 22 months to reach that milestone and had an average of 90 videos uploaded on their channel at the time they reached it. So seeing as I've only uploaded 30 videos at the time of this video, and I'm over halfway to reaching my monetization goal as far as the watch hours are concerned, I think I'm doing all right. Thanks to all of you guys, of course. If you ask any successful YouTuber, they'll tell you that the YouTube entrepreneurship is a long game, not a get-rich-quick scheme. So if you're going to do this, you better be in it for the long haul. Now, I'm definitely not the youngest guy on YouTube, but as someone in their 50s, I can honestly say that I could see myself doing this well into my 60s and maybe even into my 70s, if my body holds up. If you're someone who is seriously thinking about giving YouTube a try, then my best advice would be to just make sure that whatever topic you decide to build your channel around, make it something that you truly love to do. If I didn't love illustration and really didn't care about teaching people, I probably would have already given up. Even though I'm only doing this on a part-time basis, when you factor in the different income streams, it's still a lot of work. Now obviously, I've yet to answer the question that I originally posted in my trailer video. And that question is it possible to turn a part-time hobby into a full-time income? And I may not be able to answer that question for some time yet, but I guarantee that I'm going to have a good time figuring it out. And I really hope that you all stick around until I do. Now, if you've watched my video on how to create a master plan for a passive income, which I'll put a link to at the end of this video, you'll remember that I said that there were a few different ways to monetize your hobby. And throughout the life of this channel, I was going to show you how to do all of them. Well, the only thing that I've really touched on so far is self-publishing. And I think I've covered at least the basics of what you need to know to be able to do that. Now, I'm not saying that I'll never upload another video that deals with self-publishing in the future. I'm just saying that I've given you what you need to get started, so it's time to move on to another income stream. Now, if you have watched my passive income video, you'll know that many of the income streams I spoke about actually rely on creating a YouTube channel platform to promote them from. It's for this reason that my focus in the coming months is going to be primarily on how to get started on YouTube. Many of my video uploads in the coming months will be on all aspects of a working YouTube channel. Everything from how to record video, how to edit it, all the way to how to grow your channel as a beginner. And I'm going to start right from day one. If you're someone who's still on the fence about starting your own YouTube channel, then stick around, because I'm going to be posting some stuff that may help you make that decision once and for all. Now, I'm not saying that all of my future video uploads are only going to be about starting a YouTube channel. I'll still be posting art tutorials and art book reviews and speed drawing videos just like the one you're watching now. But my primary focus will be on helping all of you launch your own YouTube careers. Although it's possible to make money doing a few of the income streams that I mentioned earlier, like self-publishing and custom merchandise, without having a YouTube channel, 2 of the more profitable income streams that I mentioned are sponsorships and affiliate programs. And to make money from those income streams, you really need to have a large platform to promote them from if you want to make them work. Now, it doesn't have to be a YouTube platform, but the YouTube platform is by far the best way to do it. Now, I know there are some of you out there who just want to focus on one income stream only, and you can do that, but I strongly advise against it. It's never a good idea to put all of your eggs into one basket, and this goes for any business venture. It just takes one little copyright or trademark infringement mistake to bring any income stream crashing to the ground. And that's why it's always best to build multiple income streams when you're chasing a passive income. Not to mention that many of the income streams like self-publishing are seasonal. So you really can't count on making the same amount of money in July as you do in December. This is why it's so important to diversify your monthly income with multiple income streams. And once I've covered everything you need to know to get your YouTube channel up and running, I can start creating videos on income streams like affiliate marketing and sponsorships so that you guys can monetize your artistic hobbies to the full extent. My overall goal for this channel is to eventually transition it into a dedicated art channel. It was never my intention to be a how to make money online channel. My vision was to be able to make a living as a YouTube artist while at the same time teach other people how to do the exact same thing. And that's where the multiple income stream tutorials come into play. Once I've covered all of the avenues that I'm using to make a living as an artist, my channel will become primarily dedicated to digital drawing and painting tutorials, speed drawing Q&A videos, and art book reviews. I also have plans on throwing in additional tutorial videos that cover working in some of the other Adobe software programs like Photoshop, Audition, and After Effects. But don't worry, if art channels aren't your thing, I have quite a bit of non-art related content that'll be coming your way long before my YouTube channel ever reaches that final stage of being a dedicated art channel. As someone who authors children's books as well as illustrates them, I'll also be uploading videos that are dedicated to writing. So all of my income videos will technically apply to authors as well. I think the most important goal for me at this point is to make my channel as useful to all of you as I possibly can. When I think about my future, I see myself as a children's book author and illustrator. Even if I had decided against sharing my journey and teaching others how to do it themselves, creating children's books for a living was still going to be my end goal. But since I've decided to share my journey with all of you, I want to make it worth my time. And the way I do that is by making videos that will help you to achieve your goals as well. This is why all of the feedback that you give me in the comments section is so important. As someone who's worked as a professional artist for the past decade, I sometimes forget to include the basics when I'm creating my tutorials. I just assume that because you have access to Adobe software that you must have at least a basic knowledge of how to use it. And what I'm learning from the comments that many of you are leaving is that's just not the case. So it's really important that you call me on these things when I make those mistakes. Showing you how to do something in a software like Adobe Illustrator is pointless if you don't even know where to find the tools that I'm using to do the task that I'm teaching you. Which is why when I skip something like that, you need to let me know in the comments section. I will eventually get used to creating tutorials for people at all skill levels over time. But if there's something that I'm teaching that just doesn't make sense to you, be sure to let me know. Remember, there are no stupid questions in art tutorials. So far, the feedback that I've been getting from all of you has been fantastic. In fact, some of it has been instrumental in creating the video content that I've been uploading for the past few months. The comments and the questions that you leave me play a huge role in determining the direction that my channel is going to take at any given time. And this is why I want to repay you for all of your help. Now, as I said at the beginning of the video, I wanted to show my appreciation to you guys for sticking around with me so far and for helping me reach my first YouTube milestone of 1,000 subscribers. So it's time to give you all the details about this 21 draw giveaway. So let me just finish up this drawing and then we'll get to it. Alright, as I said at the beginning of the video, 21 Draw is an online art community where students of all skill levels can learn to better their craft. And I also said that I wanted to show my appreciation to all of you by running a contest where one of you could win a free 1-year subscription to this online art school. Alright, so this is what you need to do to enter. First, you need to subscribe to my channel. Second, you need to give this video a thumbs up. And third, you need to leave a comment in the comments section. But not just any comment. I want to use this opportunity to get a little bit of feedback from you guys. So what I want you to do is I want you to leave a comment as to the type of content that you want to see me create on this channel. And if you're completely fresh out of ideas, here are a few sample topics that you can use. How to draw cartoon characters, how to draw cartoon environments, how to edit video, how to shoot a video, what type of equipment to use, how to get sponsorships, how to use affiliate programs, how to create custom merchandise, how to create coloring books, how to write children's books, how to create thumbnails, how to create channel art, and so on. Or you can write down something else that's not even on this list that you'd like to see me make a video about. The comment only needs to be a few words long. And that's all you basically need to do to enter. But there are 2 guidelines that I need to point out. 1, this contest is only open to those who have never previously had a subscription to 21 Draw. And number 2 is you need to have an active email account or at least a link to an Instagram account in the About section of your YouTube homepage. I need a way to contact you if you win, and I'm going to do that either via email or via a direct message on Instagram, but you need one of those 2 to enter this contest. I'll be drawing the winner from the names of all the people who entered the contest over the next 2 weeks, and I'll announce the winner in the community section of my YouTube channel, on my Instagram account, as well as at the beginning of my next video. So good luck. Once again, I want to thank each and every one of you for helping me reach this 1,000 subscriber YouTube milestone and for continually engaging in the comments section over the past 14 months. My channel wouldn't be where it is today without all of you, so thank you. Now, if you're new to my channel and you're not quite sure what it's all about, then be sure and check out my playlist on how to monetize your hobby. You can find a link to it right here. Until next time, take care.